Okay, then Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verse 10. Okay, so this Krishna is giving various options. If someone is wants to do do sadhana, the best sadhana is to keep always the consciousness in God, in Krishna, saying verse 7 of Sonoprita, for those who keep their consciousness on me, I soon appear to uplift them from the ocean of repeated deaths. Keep your mind focused on me and apply your intelligence accordingly. In this way you will always reside in me and thus will be elevated. There is no doubt about this. Okay, of course we need to apply intelligence. It's not that we can just sit and visualize the form of Krishna and do nothing else. So that's not what Krishna needs from us. Okay, so verse 9 says, however, Dhananjaya, if you are unable to firmly establish your consciousness in me, then you should practice yoga with the desire to achieve me. We already mentioned that the yoga that Krishna is mentioning in this verse is not the fitness practice to lose weight and become, fit and trim. It's a meditation. Then 10. If you are unable to practice regulated meditation, which is yoga, the yoga that Krishna is saying is a regulated meditation, then dedicate your life to me and work for me. In this way, you will achieve perfection even while performing your normal activities. Work for me doesn't mean that Krishna has a multinational company. We don't need to work for any organization that is named after Krishna. We need to do our work, and offer this work to Krishna as a service to human society, as a Virat Purusha. This is important, otherwise we get confused. Okay. Then we go 11. If you are not even able to do that, you should confide in me and become detached from the result of all your actions, making efforts to establish yourself on the level of self-realization. So, self-realization basically means to realize that we are Atman Brahman. So, to do that, we need to become detached from identifications and attachments. Okay, very, very simple. 12. Knowledge is better than regulated sadhana in devotional service. Meditation is better than mere cultivation of knowledge. And renunciation of the fruits of action is better than meditation, because detachment brings peace. That is such a good verse that lots of people should learn, should read. There are some people who claim to be devotees of Krishna, yet they despise knowledge. I think that knowledge is bad for bhakti. And they don't want to do meditation, they just do the minimum japa, and never renounce the fruits of actions. So they're very focused on the material success. Okay, what to do? Then
In previous verses, Krishna started with meditation on him, and that way he gradually moved on. If you cannot do this, do that. And in the last, he said renouncing the
yes, but
fruits of action.
meditation,
And
we have to understand what is meditation. Means being focused on the divine consciousness, which we have to be careful. It's not sitting somewhere and just, imagining Krishna playing the flute. Meditation on Krishna is working only if we know who and what Krishna is. We cannot meditate, if we meditate on Krishna as if he is a cartoon character, is not what Krishna is saying here. We need to meditate on God's presence everywhere, on the nature of God. Like in chapters 10 and 11, Krishna has shown Arjuna how to meditate on him. So that meditation, that consciousness, that awareness, that there is nothing else but God. This is what Krishna says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samahatma Sudurlabha. We need to realize, we need to see, to perceive that God is everything. God is everywhere. This is the meditation that Krishna is talking about. Then the yoga is also a meditation, but it is regulated meditation. So there are different levels of meditation. Meditation is a very big subject. Some people think they're meditating just because they're relaxing and try not to think about anything. Okay, that's also meditation. And if you try to find inspiration from your subconscious about how to solve a problem, that is also meditation. Some people meditate on how to destroy other beings. That's also kind of meditation. It's not a good meditation, but it's still meditation. Because the word meditation has so many applications. It just means to focus one's attention, to focus one's consciousness. But the object of meditation makes a real difference. Is that clearer?
Yeah, that part is clear. But my question was like
Okay.
Krishna started in verse 7 with the meditation on him. Okay, let's consider with the all pervading form of him
Yes.
to be the highest, right?
Huh. 7. Yeah. For those who keep
No,
their consciousness in me.
no, I think verse 8. Sorry, verse 8. Can you go down verse 8?
8. Keep your mind focused and apply your intelligence accordingly. In this way, you will always reside in me.
Yeah. So here he started with meditation on him, and then if he said if you can't do that, then you do practice of yoga. If you can't do that, so that he is moving gradually downwards. If you can't do this, do
Yes,
this. If
yes,
you can't do
yes,
this, do
yes.
this. So in that way, highest is meditation on his all-pervading form, right? So that's what is the
This verse is not using the word meditation. Meditation
no, in verse
is
8.
dhyana or yoga. Here is saying, who keep their consciousness in me. Mai
No, I'm talking
aveshita
about verse 8. Can we
chetasam.
go down verse 8?
Yeah, there is one type of meditation. Here we say, Mayeva mana, the mind. Adhatsva, focus. Mai buddhim niveshaya. Applying the intelligence on me means being conscious of what actually God is. God is the entire existence. This
Yes,
is,
so this is the
yeah,
highest, right? Like keep your mind focused on me and apply your intelligence accordingly. So this is the highest form.
yes,
After that only he gradually moved down that
yeah,
okay, if you
yeah.
can't do
If
this,
someone cannot do that all the time, you should practice yoga, means sadhana.
yoga. Hmm. If you can't do that, then you do the you work
Yes,
for me. And then if
exactly,
you can't
karma
work
yoga.
for me, then you renounce the fruits of your work.
Yeah,
So
that is,
fruits renouncing fruits
yeah,
of work comes
becoming,
in the end, right?
exactly, becoming free from ahankara mamatva. Yeah,
Yeah, but in the next verse he says the opposite of it. Like he puts renouncing the fruits, like more than meditation. Like last.
yeah. Actually, meditation is sadhana, dhyanam. Dhyanam is the practice of yoga that consists in, sitting down and focusing on the meaning of God, meaning of Krishna. So knowledge is better than just regulated sadhana, because sadhana should be done with knowledge and to attain knowledge. Meditation means yoga, better than mere cultivation of knowledge. And renunciation to production matter meditation. Okay, this doesn't refer to the previous verses. Verse 12 is separated from the previous verses. Don't mix them up. Already Krishna had given different levels of focusing our consciousness in God. Now, Krishna is saying that while we do all these activities that we have described above, you need knowledge. Because just sadhana, regulated sadhana, is not sufficient if you don't have knowledge. Now, you do sadhana, you make a regular effort in meditation with knowledge, but then this meditation together with knowledge is better than just knowledge. You understand?
Yes.
So, the different ways that, different levels of focusing that Krishna was describing before, is going from the actual awareness, consciousness, down to making efforts through regulated application, which means sadhana. Okay. Now, sadhana, that includes everything. Sadhana includes dhyana, includes karma yoga, includes charity, includes lots of things, puja. But simply sadhana is not sufficient. We need knowledge. The study. It was not mentioned when Krishna spoke about the Jnana Yoga. He was speaking of Jnana Yoga in another chapter. Here, Krishna is saying, if you cannot do it spontaneously, do it in a regulated way. If you cannot do in Raganuga, you do through Vaidhi. Raganuga Bhakti is the best because you are always aware of God. If you are not on that level yet, you do through sadhana. And sadhana includes lots of parts. It's not just one practice. So sadhana should include knowledge, meditation, and tyaga, jnana, vairagya. We have to meditate, we have to do yoga, practice yoga, meditation, trying to keep our consciousness on God through the Vaidhi Bhakti. by jnana and vairagya. Basically, this verse 12 is separated from the previous ones. Detachment brings peace because when you give up, when you abandon, you drop your ahankara and mamatva as attachments, as identifications, then you can still play a role in society, in family, or wherever, but you're not attached. So whether you get material results or not, you're okay, because detachment brings peace. Renunciation to the fruits of action is not that you don't work anymore, but you work, whatever work you're doing, you're not obsessed by it because you're not trying to find the happiness through the fruits of action, because the fruits of action will never give complete happiness. They're not the real happiness. Real happiness is inside ourselves because we are Satchitananda. So basically what Krishna is saying, that because the Atma is Satchitananda, Paramatma, Ishvara, Bhagavan, is the infinite, is endless, unlimited Satchitananda. So if we focus, if we remain aware of this unlimited Satchitananda, we'll be okay. Because we'll be in peace, because we are not trying to run after anything else. We are still working, of course, because the entire Bhagavad Gita was given to Arjuna to convince him to do his duty as a kshatriya and fight in the battle. We still do our duty. And we work for Krishna not because Krishna wants, not because the battle is to convince people to worship Krishna, but because it's about protecting the kingdom, which is Dharma. I don't know. I'm trying to explain, but does this sound clear? Does it help?
Some part, but
Some
not
part.
exactly. Like how come, like if this
Maybe
renouncing is
I don't.
better than.
Maybe I still don't understand what exactly is your question.
So my question was like Krishna in that 12th verse, he said renouncing the fruits is better than meditation. But
Yes.
meditation in its actual sense includes, like, with the full awareness of Krishna, you meditate. So how come? Because renouncing fruits is better than that. Because earlier only he said that renouncing is best, and then he slowly moved to renouncing the fruits of action. So here it seems this is reversed, but
Yes.
I
I,
understand, like,
I, I
you
believe I
mentioned.
believe that there are two different levels of renouncing the fruits of action. Let's go here. Okay, this is the beginning. Okay, verse 8. Keep your mind focused on me and apply your intelligence accordingly. This is meditation as well, isn't it?
Yes,
So this is the highest.
yes,
Then, if you cannot do that, then you should practice yoga, which is also meditation, isn't it?
yes.
Okay. This is funny. If you're unable to practice regulated meditation, which means yoga sadhana, then dedicate your life to me and work for me, which is also meditation, because it's not a different job. It's not a different company.
Mm, how come?
Okay. Dedicate your life to me and work for me. This doesn't mean that you give up your family and your day job and you go to work for one mata or organization. It means you do your work as a service to God. Your normal activities as a service to God, right? Yad karoshi, yad
Yes.
ashnasi, yad juhosi, dadasi, yad. Right?
Yes.
Kurusva, madarpanam. Tat kurusva, madarpanam. You do it for Krishna, right? And this is also
Yes.
meditation.
Mm. But meditation, like in one, like if it was, we understand that, okay, one who is fully aware and, he's constantly thinking, and so that is meditation. Second one is the practice meditation, who is trying to achieve for that
Yes,
he is doing
yes,
it. But
yes.
this one, how come? Because if we mention, then he would also be equal to the first one, the starting point, right? That.
It's not exactly equal. The first starting point is Raganunga Bhakti.
Mhm.
The starting point means that you are, constantly aware of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And you know that you are just in God. Nothing, that there is nothing else but God. So whatever you do, you're always in God. You're not separated any longer. You're one with God, not in an impersonalistic form, but you feel and you perceive, you realize, and you work, you function as a cell in the body of God.
Yes.
It's not something that you make an effort to think about.
Mhm.
The second, if you cannot do that, if you're not there yet, then you do Vaidhi, sadhana. Vaidhi bhakti, samana bhakti means, you do your puja, you do your yama niyama, asana, pramayama, dharana, pratyahara, dharana. You go through the system. You do your Pancharatra worship. You do all your mantras, all your puja. That is regulated meditation. If you cannot do all these practices, you just work by remembering. Whatever work you're doing, of course, you cannot go and be a butcher, or an assassin, or a highway robber, because they're not exactly, a normal work. Okay, but if you are a computer engineer, or a farmer, or whatever, you're doing this work honestly to serve God in the form of human society. And you are doing your duty, that's it. You don't try to get, to be attached to the fruits of your work. That's why Krishna says, work for me. So when we dedicate our life to Krishna and work for Krishna, is like a bank employee. We take money, we give money, we put money from one place to the other, but we're not attached to that money because it's not our money. So the work we're doing it to help human society, to help the Virat Rupa, to serve the Virat Rupa. Because it's our duty. Because this is Dharma. Dharma means which supports, sustains the universal community and your own being as well. So you have to work to support yourself. You have to work to support your family. And you see yourself as a servant of Krishna, and you see your family as servants of Krishna, parts of Krishna. So you work to maintain a servant of Krishna and the parts of Krishna. So they're working for Krishna. I don't know, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. And this is also a type of meditation. But it's not ritualistic meditation. You don't have to do your sadhana for 2-3 hours minimum a day. You just keep your consciousness,
Mhm.
and during the day or in the evening when you're tired and your subconscious, your mind asks you why you're doing all this work, you have the proper answer. I'm doing all this work and going through all these difficulties, all these tapas and all this, problem solving and everything because I'm doing it for Krishna. I'm working for Krishna because I have to support my service to Krishna and my family and my and my society and human society and the planet in whatever way I can. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not trying to find happiness in identification and attachment. I'm just doing my duty. This is why the word dharma also means duty, like in Swadharma. The Swadharma of Brahmana, Swadharma of Kshatriya, Swadharma of Vaishyas, Swadharma of Shudras, and so on. I don't know. Is that clearer?
Yes, clear.
Is that answering your question? Maybe not completely. Still.
Not completely, but yeah.
We'll get there. If you're not even
Mhm.
able to do that, means remembering always that you are working, um, we are working for God, and everything that comes is a yagya. Like is Brahman. Everything we do is a part of Brahman. If you are not even able to do that, you should confide in me and become detached from the result of all your actions. Say, okay, I am doing my work for me and my family and my company and my nation or whatever, but okay, if it goes well, okay. If it doesn't go well, if you don't get the results I was expecting, okay, that's a karma. That's sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, which means becoming detached. You know, making effort to establish yourself on the level of self-realization. Okay, so this is the end of that explanation. The next, Krishna is explaining that meditation means consciousness, chaitana, requires jnana and vairagya. Okay, knowledge and renunciation. Okay, we see, maybe it will come later on. Let's see. 13.
Mhm.
One who works for me must be free from envy or hostility, but rather friendly and compassionate towards all beings. Wow. She must be free from material attachments and identifications, tolerant and ready to forgive, and equally prepared to face joys and sorrows. This means working for God, because you are conscious, we are conscious that God is controlling everything. There is a reason for everything. Here it is important to see ready to forgive doesn't mean ready to forget. It's different. Forgive and forget are not the same thing. Okay. 14. The bhakti yogi is always contented, engaged in the self with firmness and determination. offering his mind and intelligence to my service. Such a person is very dear to me. In brief, Krishna is describing a honest, sincere person. Okay. 15. One who does not cause sufferings to others and is not affected by others, who is not overwhelmed by joy or distress, who is free from fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. This is clear, huh?
Yes.
Okay. "16. Impartial, clean, skillful, light-hearted, detached from worries, uninterested in personal achievements. Such a devotee is very dear to me." 17. A devotee who is not confused by joy, does not hate anything, does not lament, and does not aspire to any selfish results, who has become detached from both advantages and disadvantages, is very dear to me. This, of course, doesn't mean that we should be happy when we get trouble. But we shouldn't be confused. We should just remain detached and do the work we need to do without being too anxious. Equally balanced and impartial towards enemies and friends, honor and neglect, cold and heat, joys and sorrows, and completely free from any material association. Sangha Vivarjita. Balanced in front of insult and adoration, silent, satisfied with whatever he obtains, without residence, strongly determined. A devotee is very dear to me among all human beings. So basically, this is the definition of a devotee. "20. Those who worship correctly this eternal Dharma, as explained by me, totally dedicated to me with faith and devotion, are extremely dear to me." In the last verse of the chapter, Krishna summarizes Bhakti Yoga as a Dharma Amrita, eternal Dharma, the nectar of Dharma. So this is the last verse of the chapter.
Basically, all the dualities he
tell.
explained that should be above all the dualities.
Yeah,
We should
exactly. So many times in Gita, Krishna, expresses the idea that we should give up duality, because duality is an illusion. Joys and sorrows, they all come and go. We shouldn't try to find happiness in temporary things. We can find happiness in our work because we are meditating, we are offering it, we are working for God. God is happiness, God is Ananda. And the more we dedicate to this highest Dharma, the happier we become. So it's easier to, let everything else, fall away. I don't know, is that clear?
Yes.
Tell.
No, it's clear that is you many times Krishna
I
mentions it.
think that Bhakti, this chapter is on Bhakti Yoga. I think that bhakti can be rather misunderstood at times, because sometimes we are mixing the idea of bhakti with material conceptions, material limitations. For example, with sectarianism. Sorry. So, people think that you can either be a devotee of Krishna or a devotee of Shiva, because you cannot be both, which is not true. Because Krishna includes Shiva. They're not separate, they cannot be separate. God is one. Not in the sense of a limited number, but one in the sense of the entire existence, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Everything that exists is Krishna. Vasudeva. How we can understand that is not easy. I totally agree. That's why if we cannot yet understand, we need to engage in sadhana, which is based on jnana and vairagya. And this is the same thing that Krishna says when he is discussing about controlling one's mind. One can control one's mind through constant practice and detachment. Constant practice means applying the attention, the consciousness, the awareness of the mind to the source of all knowledge, the source of all awareness. And detachment means, okay, we are not going to lose anything, because what is real is eternal and we cannot lose it. What we can lose is temporary, and in a sense it's not real, because it doesn't have an established existence. It's just the perception that we have of existence, and it is a change in perception. I don't know, like for example, let's say we have a car. Okay. Having a car is something that many people think has a good result. Okay, I got a car. Oh, wow, nice, beautiful. Then the components of this car, in the term of atoms, of metals and other materials, will always be there. It's not that we lose them, but they're not sticking together in the form of a car that we can drive. So we didn't actually lose the car as a real object, but we only lost the configuration of matter that appeared as a car. This is why it's called Maya, because a car is made of atoms. A car is not really a car. A car is an aggregate of atoms that is, manifesting as a shape, as a function, as a tangible object of the senses. But how long can a car stay like that? Not long. Maybe 10, 20 years. And then the metal starts to rust, and it's not the same metal anymore. So, the car is falling apart. Or if we have an accident, the car is actually, modified considerably even without a long passing of time. But the materials are still there, the atoms are still there. So what did we lose? We lose the perception and the utilization of those materials. But the actual object, the matter, is still there. I don't know. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. I know these are difficult considerations because they go beyond the practical day-to-day activities.
Yes.
But if already in our day-to-day activities we can keep some proper perception and consciousness, things will become clearer. Like when Krishna is saying the Sthita Pragya, one who is stable in the knowledge, will see that the body and the mind are engaging in material objects. The body and the mind are material objects, and they engage in material objects. So guneshu vartante. The gunas will engage in the gunas. But the Sthita Pragya is always very aware that he is not the body and he is not the mind. Of course, he will take care of his body and mind because these are the instruments by which he does his work. Just like we take care of our car, because otherwise how are we going to be able to travel to work or to do, to buy the groceries or to whatever, But we are not identifying with the car. So if the car gets scratched, we don't get a heart attack. We go, oh, my car, what do we do without my car? No, it's not a big problem. So we keep balanced, we keep detached. Is this helping?
Yes.
Good. I think there is still some fog, and I think today I'm not sure we can expand more on this. Maybe we should just move on to the next chapter
Yeah.
because
Maybe with time, some understanding.
yeah, exactly.
Some things are beyond words, so only experience
Exactly.
and
Adorsha Jachintya. So, all the scriptures are trying to explain to us, but still, these things are beyond words. We need to actually experience them, and it is a gradual process, and we need to keep the fire of jnana and vairagya going. So our pot of rice will be cooked. It takes some time to cook. But if we don't put sufficient fire, it will never cook. This is interesting part. So
Yeah.
anyway, okay. So next time we are going to read. This is interesting. Chapter 13, Prakriti Purusha Vibhaga Yoga. And this, let me give the introduction here, because it's interesting, because Prakriti is a nature and the Purusha is the personal principle. After the scene setting introduction, chapter 1, the first of 4 chapters, 2, 3, 4, 5, of the text of the Bhagavad Gita were about the self, Tvam, and how to evolve and progress in self-realization. Krishna has explained about karma and duty and how we are supposed to work in this world selflessly, without attachment and material identifications. The second group of 4 chapters, 6 Dhyana, 7 Vijnana, 8 Taraka Brahma, 9 Rajaguhya, were about that. That. Supreme consciousness and reality. Krishna has explained about the meaning and practice of meditation. So from the realization of the Atman, we can move to the realization of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan while we are still in this world. The third group of 4 chapters, 10 of Vibhuti, 11 Vishwarupa Darshana, 12 Bhakti, 13 Prakriti Purusha Viveka, are about Tattva Jnana, the process of knowledge of reality. And Krishna explains precisely how to apply and execute bhakti in the genuine way, by appreciating the transcendental nature of God and entering into the supreme consciousness. The fourth and last group of 4 chapters, 14 Gunatraya Vibhaga, 16 Daivasura Sampada, 17 Shraddhatraya, 18 Moksha, are about liberation or the ultimate success of the entire process. And their teaching are summarized by the famous aphorism Tat Tvam Asi. Krishna clarifies the dangerous traps on the road to liberation and how to make the last steps away from material conditioning, because even a liberated soul, Jivan Mukta, still has to deal with the 3 gunas as long as he lives in this world. So if we want to summarize the entire Bhagavad Gita in 4 steps, we can describe them Tvam, Tat, Tvam, Asi. So in in this chapter, in 12th chapter, Krishna has given the description of the qualities and activities that the developer must develop in order to engage in transcendental service. In this chapter, on Arjuna's request, Krishna will explain the difficult and deep science of Purusha and Prakriti, yay, which is like we need something complicated. The 2 sides of Brahman, who are the father and mother of everything, both in the material and the spiritual world, and within the Jivatman as well. So, Purusha is the personal principle of perception of our consciousness. The Kshetra, okay. So, we have the entire thing here going on. And it's going to be an interesting chapter. Okay, Shama, I wish to know about the Prakriti and the Purusha, the Kshetra and the Kshetragya, the knowledge and the object of knowledge. And my word, he is going to get the explanation. Okay, so I think we can stop here until the next session of study. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Jai Jagannath. Wait a minute, I'll stop.